Hey folks, today is Friday, December 22nd, 2017. As usual, it's me, your boy, Jake Baldino. No, I'm not gonna say it like that. Hey folks, today is Friday, December 22nd, 2017. Happy almost end of the year. It's me, Jake Baldino, here to talk about some video game stuff that has been going on. And it's actually been a pretty interesting week with this first story, something I never really expected to say, but it looks like Apple and the iOS App Store is against loot boxes. Yes, they've taken what seems to be a pretty public stance in their newest update to their microtransaction clause that they have for developers who put games on their app store. They have a specific mandate that says apps offering loot boxes or other mechanisms that provide randomized virtual items for purchase must disclose the odds of receiving each type of item to customers prior to purchase. Boom! That's a big deal. That was not required by law, but it seems like Apple actually went the extra mile and took care of it anyway. For those of you that don't know, a lot of people have problems with loot boxes and microtransactions because it's a form of gambling, and oftentimes children have access to it, and it's just kind of, we didn't really want to see the game industry go this way. We've talked about this week after week, and you may remember that we did mention in China that they set this as law for games where you purchase things. You have to be able to visibly see the odds of what you're putting your money into, and Apple is taking this step forward here. Now, I will say, whether or not you like Apple, right now I'm a little bit of an Android guy, but still, I think this is a potentially trend-setting move, considering Apple is such a huge part of the market. I think this is actually a win. Let's chalk that up as a win. But speaking of wins, something I didn't really expect to see at the end of the year as like the game news cycle is kind of wrapping up, we got a pretty good, healthy look at Darksiders 3 gameplay. I linked it in the description below as well as everything else I talked about this week, and it's worth checking out if you're interested because you get a better look at the combat actually within the game, not really spiced up or anything. You get to see the movement, you get to see some of the jumping and swinging and mechanics like that, and it looks like it's shaping up to be pretty good. It looks like they're leaning back a little bit towards what made the original Darksiders great, and I'm fine with that. It's also really interesting to see a THQ logo pop up again because, you know, now there's THQ Nordic. But something else I definitely wanted to bring up that caught my eye as a huge fan of this series. I don't know, are you guys on Reset Era? Whatever that forum is that some of the NeoGAF guys formed. I don't know, whatever. I'm on that, and there was a big post about a potential Devil May Cry 5 leak. This had cropped up a couple of weeks ago, but now it's back saying that Capcom is planning to announce this soon. Apparently there might be a trailer. The game may not make a 2018 release date. It may be pushed to 2019, but apparently things are well underway. I linked it down below. Of course, this is just a random post on a forum, so it has to be taken with a grain of salt. It's very much just rumor right now. And I think I will say, honestly, I'm leaning towards it being a rumor completely just because some of the stuff that is listed, there is some stuff that could potentially be spoilers, but a lot of just the main bullet points listed sound almost too good to be true. You're basically playing as Dante. He's extra badass. It's kind of like revisiting the original storyline with his father, the devil, and Mundus and all of that. I just don't really know if Capcom would go that route in 2018, but I would like to see that as a fan since the very original game. I don't know. It could go either way, but considering this is the second rumor of it to pop up, maybe there's something to be had about it. As someone who is such a fan of that series, I am looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say. But, you know, every week we like to go and find weird shit on the internet that people make that has to do with games, and this first thing is pretty awesome. This is just someone playing LA Noire VR and making it hilarious. I think VR in and of itself can just always be hilarious, but this guy really did a really good job with this. Surprisingly, I never thought I would say this, but it looks like, Andrew, what did you do?
I tripped over everything on the way out.
Not only that, but you went, fuck shit. Not only that, but speaking of a Rockstar game, since it is kind of Star Wars week, The Last Jedi, everybody's talking about it, I can't stop thinking about it. Everybody either completely loves it or completely hates it, and the internet's tearing themselves apart, but this clever GTA 5 player basically created the trailer from scratch in Grand Theft Auto 5, and it looks pretty funny. We get these all the time now at this point, but I just really like this one, and one of you guys shared it with me on Discord, our new discord.gg/gameranx. Little plug right there, come hang out with us. The other big story I thought was worth sharing this week is this little Street Fighter player, this precious little girl. She's 10 years old and she's killing it. This 10-year-old girl Asuna showed up on Daigo Umehara's stream, who is a legendary Street Fighter player, and she showed off her skills, and surprisingly, she's insanely competent with this game. I mean, even just me as a casual Street Fighter fan observing, you could tell that she understands some of the nuance in the gameplay here and there. Now, while she demonstrates really good natural skill at 10 years old, she did say that she doesn't want to grow up and become a Street Fighter champion opinion or anything like that. But I gotta say, if she had someone like Daigo in her court training her, that would be insane. And next, every week I try and provide some longer reads for you guys, some links to click on and read up on, because I figure we spend so much time talking about video games, we may as well be read up on them. So this week we have GameIndustry.biz. They do an annual roundup of just end of year sales figures and just numbers about games, and it's pretty impressive. It's always worth reading and it's always worth checking out, because this year in particular, both console and PC sales both exceeded over $3 billion. So that's something to bring up at the Christmas dinner table.
Yeah, sure. Everyone in my family is gonna love me bringing up video game sales numbers.
Yes. My dad loves video game statistics, doesn't yours?
If there's anything my grandma loves.
But in other news, it seems like lately we haven't spent a lot of time talking and arguing about graphics and frames per second, but I think it's worth pointing out that the Witcher 3 Xbox One X version just got updated to run pretty impressively. Whether or not you're like a fan of Xbox One X or consoles in general, I think it's worth taking a look because it is pretty impressive. It looks like now they can get it to run at 4K or 60 FPS. The game has higher resolution textures, better ambient occlusion and anti-aliasing. And to me personally, I think it's like with games like this, if developers actually go for it, they can show the actual power of the Xbox One X. Yeah, it's still nothing to a PC, but I just kind of find it fascinating from a development standpoint. I don't know. Next up, something that caught our eye thanks to you guys pointing it out to us. It looks like the Resident Evil 2 remake game is still very much a thing. Over the last few weeks, there's been a lot of contention and people questioning that the game would be in development hell since it's been so long since we've heard from it. And thankfully, it seems like that's not the case, thanks to one developer taking to the internet to say, no, the game is not in development hell. It is still very much under normal development and everything's going fine. I'd like to believe that's the case because the game wasn't out so long ago, but when they did first announce it, it was such a weird nothing announcement that it seemed like at the time they hadn't even started working on it. So now that they are working on it, I don't expect us to hear anything actual from it for a while. So I think we can all just cool it down a little bit. That being said, as it being one of my favorite games ever, I understand everybody being impatient. I can't wait to see that. But speaking of development updates, it looks like we're getting another Legend of Zelda game. Hooray! Surprise! I know you're probably all sick of that game by now with all the Game of the Year talk, but it's not gonna stop. And the way it works with Zelda games, it's very cyclical. When development on one Zelda game ends, they start working on the next one. And that seems like that's definitely the case now after Breath of the Wild, thanks to series creator Eiji Aonuma posting a note in the new Art of the Legends of Zelda book, not saying much without any real details other than just, hey, we're working on the next one. And you know what? That's all we really need to hear right now. So we'll see you in many, many years, Zelda. I know it takes you guys a while, but I'm looking forward to it. Nintendo Switch 2. But that's really all we got going on this week. We did pre-record this show on Thursday. If it seems a little short, we're working on a lot of other videos to get ready for the holidays and Christmas and stuff to just have enough stuff. We're also working on our Game of the Year video, which will be dropping next week, so be sure to keep your eye on that, because it's a spicy one. It really is like chaos here in the gameranx office. I don't really know what's going on despite kind of being in charge, but we still have to do that console giveaway we do every single week. You know how it works. There's a link in the description below. You click it to sign up. You enter once, then you enter it for good. And then every single week we go in and randomly choose one winner to win a free console of their choice. Now, this week's winner is going to be this person right here. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your inbox, your spam box, stuff like that, because Tom is going to be reaching out to you to figure out how he can send you your stuff. But that's a week in video games. We got to talk about this stuff. First and foremost, do you think that Devil May Cry 5 leak is legit or what? I really want it to be, but I have no idea. And Darksiders 3, I've seen some people be really lukewarm about it, and I've seen other folks get really excited about it. So where do you fall? Also, Apple and how they're going after loot boxes and microtransactions. Of all people, never expected it. And I know it's a little hard to pat Apple on the back sometimes, but I think this time it's worth it. Do you agree? Let's talk about any of this stuff down in the comments. I'll be down there talking to you guys, but of course, you know, we're also now on discord.gg/gameranx. We're building up a little community of you guys over there. It's been really cool meeting and hanging out with you guys. I'm there, the video boys are there, Falcon's there sometimes, and we just chat about games and meet up and play and stuff like that. But if you don't see me on there, you know where to find me by now. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Jake Baldino and youtube.com/becausevideogames. But that's this week. We'll see you guys soon. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all that. You know, clicking the like button does help us out a ton. We really appreciate it. And if you're new, you should subscribe by now because 2018 is going to be insane. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Pizza is on me.
That's it. That's a wrap.